Hello, welcome, Charla. Welcome to the Well of Being. This is Melissa, intuitive healer guide and channel. So today I was guided to dive more into the concept of our starseed DNA. Each and every one of us have starseed DNA that is woven into our carbon-based DNA. Each of us have a unique star seed blueprint within our DNA and a unique way that it's all integrated with our earthly DNA. So, this gift that we carry within us, this is a time on the planet where we are all being called to awaken and nurture this cosmic blueprint within. We are ready. We've been doing the work to prepare ourselves for that. And a lot of what's coming up intensely for us right now is calling us to do the work to prepare for this full on activation. When you think about your beautiful little cells and this DNA inside of there, the way our DNA is supported depends upon its environment. And the environment cosmically, galactically, is supporting and nurturing us and awakening to this high level of integration. In addition, because that environment has been supporting us from the outside, we're feeling it all on the inside because everything is always being guided towards alignment. Now, when I say that, that can feel a lot of different ways. There can be physical things that can come up. There are emotional things that can come up. There are beliefs that come up. And why is all of this coming up right now? It's because we are being called to create the most opportune environment to fully activate our full DNA potential, our cosmic blueprint that each and every one of us have. This concept is actually a traditional term called epigenetics. So, this is something I have a background in molecular biology as well. So, it gets me a little bit excited. And when I was doing my training, it was right at the time where we discovered, the human genome was decoded. And we thought, oh, and now we're going to figure everything out. It's all going to make sense. And when they had it, they're like, oh, guess what? It still doesn't make sense because just because you carry certain genes doesn't mean they're going to be activated and expressed. So the reason why certain genes are activated and expressed and are not is this bigger concept of the environment and epigenetics. So, what is nurturing our DNA? And that has to do with everything. It has to do with the energy, it has to do with our belief systems, it has to do with our emotions, it has to do with our body's function. It's everything together. So, one way you can think of this and kind of a bigger picture is if you were to think of we're tending this garden, and so, as we're tending the garden, and for many of us, it's springtime right now, I had to do this as well. There are certain things that come up, and it's like, oof, I've got to clear that out. That's a weed. It is, we're done with having that here. So, we're clearing things out. And by doing so, we create more space for other things to come in and grow. So that is one piece that we'll be called into. We are being called into more and more. And why I created this channel is all the things we're being called to see that need to be cleared out to create the most opportune conditions for that full cosmic blueprint to be activated and nurtured and nourished. And as we create this space, and that's going to look a lot of different ways as you are, shifting old belief systems that might have been more constrictive and restrictive, and you're moving through and flowing with your emotions, and your body starts to come into a greater state of balance and harmony. You've created an expansion. And this expansion, just like a clear garden plot, it's like things are like, oh, we want to go and we want to grow there. We want to go there. And so, if you don't tend to it, there could be other weeds that just come back in. So we don't want that. We want to create the most nurturing opportunity for that, exactly what we want to grow up and be activated and expanded. So that is that other piece of like opening up to these cosmic connections that we have, these galactic connections. And of course, our soul, our spirit is helping to guide us with that. It's helping to support us with how we can channel in the energy. So this is a little bit of what came through yesterday with nurturing the soul flower and bringing in that cosmic connection, that soul star connection, which in a way is like your unique light, which contains frequency, which contains energy, which contains messages. Lots of light language is wanting to come through. A little more English, Melissa. So all this beautiful healing energy that we're bringing into this garden plot of ourselves that we've opened up so that we can fully activate our starseed DNA. So just real quick before we jump into all these powerful other frequencies that want to come through, why do we want to do this? Why do we want to do this? We have to. We have to. It is the next level of expansion here on earth that we are showing up as fully integrated beings. So we're being called to all this high level, intense work to prepare ourselves, not because it's just going to be harder and harder and harder, but because it's going to be easier because we're opening all of our gifts. And we're opening gifts that are not just like we're bypassing and suddenly going to become all 100% starseed. No, it's an integration. So you're bringing in the fullness of your being, which includes, your earthly self, your soul self, and your galactic self. And by opening up and activating that DNA, it's going to support you with being able to maintain more harmony and balance within your body and working through emotions. You'll just get all these amazing accelerations and gifts that will support you. Again, unique to each of us, because each of us have a different purpose, a different path, and we have a different integration of the DNA. All right, so much. I'm just going to let it come through now. Bieto koru ke kokoro ko ke koru tai urutu koru. Te ke kokoro ukoi eke ukuru ukoi eke ukuru ukoi eke ai oru oe e. Tokoro ke kokoro ukoi eke ukuru uko ukuru ukoi e. Te ke ukuru ukoi e. One of the things I'm hearing is that for some of you, you will start to become more aware of more direct galactic links that you have. So in a way, it's like, we have family. We have our earth family, we have our soul family, and we have our galactic family. So we have all these different levels of family. And, I was adopted, so I get to play with this in lots of different ways. But, that you can live without having full conscious awareness and connection to the different levels of your family. But there's something about what we're being called to activate and create the best nurturing environment for our DNA where we are going to be called to have a more direct connection and awareness. It's not something you need to go looking for. It's just going to start to come more into your awareness. Again, knowing that each of us are unique. In their infinite points of light in the multiverse that each of us are connected to in different ways. So there'll just be a heightened level of awareness. And we're just being asked to open our hearts, to open our minds, to open our hearts, to open our consciousness that this support, this more direct way of supporting is going to come through, and that you are asked not to doubt it when you start to hear like this is my star family, this is my galactic starseed home. Again, not in a way that's meant like this. There's no hierarchy of families here. Like my earthly family's down here and my soul family's here and then my star family's there. No, because it's all meant to be woven together. Like nothing ever shows up until it's really ready to dive in and root in and integrate in. And this is a time where, again, the external environment here on earth is nurturing us, building these connections. And our internal environment is matching that. We're being called to match and create an alignment. And as we do, for each of us, it's going to zip, it'll start to zing in. And you'll receive that in different ways. A lot of it will be through direct messaging, through your dream state, things that may just come to you, ahas. And you may not even make a connection that, like, oh, that was like almost like you phoned a friend that you didn't know you had. And part of the openness is that we are being called to ask for support. So tune in, like when you are having something come up that you are working on, because everything so wants us to get into this place of integration and activation of our starseed self, our full integrated self. We the support is all around us, but you do have to ask. So as you have specific things coming up in your life, in your body, opening to support, just staying open and not like demanding or commanding that it has to look any particular way, but just opening yourself to receive. And it will show up. And it can show up in ways that look very earthly, like there may be somebody who calls you or connects to you. So there's a lot of different ways it may show up. It may be, again, direct communication. It may be through earthly portals. But the importance is staying open. By uru utu ukuru 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 ukoi. By uru ukuru 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 e. Dai ukuru oi e ai ukuru uko uko e ke o ke ukuru uko e ke ukuru uko e. This is a really powerful message. I know I'm shaking everything. Dai ukuru ukoi. This message is really just helping us to see that there are some of us here who are shut down because we don't really recognize our full potential, or we're denying our potential, or uh, we don't think we've accomplished enough, or we don't deserve it. There's a lot of belief blocks that might be blocking us from fully activating this integrated cosmic gift that is within us. Whew, oh, it's clearing heart space. The truth is, each and every being on this planet holds this potential within them. So being aware of any blocks that you may have, to fully recognizing that this gift is within you. It is going to require a lot of faith, of course. And all of us, again, will have a different and unique path of opening to this. And it will align in the way that is best for you. Most tender and most gentle. However, because everything is really encouraging us to this place of integration and alignment, we will feel the things rise to the surface, like the weeds, like those blocked beliefs will come up clearer and clearer. So that may not feel so tender, but it still is. Because as that, whatever it is, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual, comes up, as always, what you need to support yourself with clearing is right there. Again, just needing to ask for that support. What is the difference between our soul self and our galactic self? Okay. My experience is that your soul is your higher self, your soul, and your spirit, to me, are all interchangeable. And that is like your alignment into your earthly being. And then your soul has this relationship with the galactic starseed aspects of yourself as well. So your soul is almost like an anchor point. If you were to think of, like, if your soul energy were here, and then there's the galactic connections connecting into your soul, and then your soul shines the light that animates and connects into your spirit. So they all weave and integrate together. But the soul is more of the way your spirit, your higher self, animates into the earthly form. That's how I'm feeling it right now. So hopefully that helps. Hi kokoro okoi. Okay. And Fatima says, as soon as you said belief blocks, I saw another light language channel doing an activation for black magic clearing and protection. Yeah, 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 yeah. So it is really cool to see that, I'm not always looking at everything else that's out there, but it's because, guys, this is all out there. When things come in, it's because they're there to be received. They're messages for all of us, just like the sun codes that are there for us today in the Midwest. What's a okoi, 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 okoi. So your soul also, I'm hearing, is kind of like it's like a bridge. It's a communicator between all the realms. I'm just seeing this beautiful being of light that it's again kind of weaving in all of the star seed, weaving it into your body, and it just has this beautiful dai okoro okoi aka okoro okoi aka okoro. And it kind of the soul, I'm just like it's all the things. Like it's your experience, and it's connected to your experience in this lifetime, across your other lifetimes, all of your galactic lifetimes. Almost like when you think of the Akashic records and it's hard to speak, the concept of that. By okoro okoi eke okoro okoi eke okoro okoi eke koro okoi e. So one of the ways I've been seeing the way that energy is coming in, there's just all of these different beautiful layers, and then each layer has all these other dimensions that are there to support us. So understanding that isn't really important, only to know that it's coming, it's here for us. Just like I said, like briefly, the sun codes, like you can feel the sun, and then there are these other levels of the sun that we can't see, but they're there. So there's like dimension upon dimension upon dimension that is all coming in to support us in this way. Again, like just to go back to creating the best environment to support that full activation. Okay, let's see a little more light language before I close. By Ukorokoi. Okoege. I'm just hearing to say that just it's coming from myself, but it's also coming from all the other dimensions. A level of compassion. I know that there are some of you out there who are really struggling right now, physically, emotionally, and just know that as intense as things are, you are being held and you are being supported. So, just a final message of that compassionate awareness that surrounds you. Tai uru u ake okoro okoi. Okoro koi. And that's another message too. When we ask for support from all levels of ourself, and remember, you can ask from all levels, earthly, soul, galactic, starseed, whatever you want to call it, all levels. Know too that when things are really intense, it's okay to say, hey, can you help me make this a little easier? Or maybe even can you tone down the energy a little bit? And like speaking very clearly, like I am human and this is a lot for me to physically handle. Like let's say if it's in my heart space, I'm having heart palpitations, I'm having tension across my chest. I'm like, this is a lot for me to handle. Can you help to expand the energy or tone down the energy so I can receive it? Because it is a lot. and they do want to give us so much, but that doesn't always, it's sometimes it's overwhelming. And you'll be able to tune in and know when it's like, okay, no, I know what I need to do to be able to support myself. I mean, being in nature is a huge source of support for me. I gotta move my body. Moving my body helps in all different kinds of ways to help me integrate the energy. But sometimes too, I'll even do it. I'll be like, all right, guys, middle of the night, I'll do some of my own work and be like, why don't you take me to some secret healing chamber, knock me out, and help me to integrate this? So just there's no wrong way to do this. Sometimes it's just like, help me expand, tone it down. But like this direct communication with all of these messengers that are here supporting us. And it's like, you don't necessarily, I don't hear necessarily words sometimes. Sometimes I'll get answers, but opening to realize that it's like this isn't just happening to you. This they're here to support us and they appreciate the feedback. They're like, "Oh, like okay." That's where I'm feeling like that message of compassion. That message of compassion. Like they don't, maybe some of these beings that are just showering all this light to help us shift and change, they've never been in human form, so they don't know what we're feeling. So it's like, "Let me tell you, this is the experience and help us out, show me the way, help me to expand. I do want to shift and change." So let's see, a little more light language. Hato ui ukuru u. Dai kukuru ukui eke ukuru uku ukuru ue. Dai ukuru ukoi ke kuwero ukoi. Blessings, courageous souls. Thank you for joining me today. Powerful stuff. Whew. Have a beautiful day.